We went from COVID to the epidemic of gun violence. Today, first state in the nation is going to declare a disaster emergency on gun violence. It says to everyone in the state, I want you to understand the extent of the problem. It then also allows us to move even faster and free up money and free up programs so we can get it on the street.
So we went from mangling the state's COVID response to now it's a gun violence emergency. New York Governor Cuomo facing backlash after declaring a statewide gun violence emergency in response to the surge in violent crime. Here to react to National Vice President of the Fraternal Order of Police, Joe Gamaldi. Joe, thanks so much for being here. How you feeling about the state of emergency declared on gun violence in New York?
Well, you know, I find it kind of interesting because just a week ago, Congressman Cortez said that they didn't have a problem with crime in New York, that this was all hysteria.
Good
and
point.
That we were just massaging the statistics. So I'm wondering when they're going to get on the same page. But I'm glad that someone's finally acknowledging the violent crime epidemic that's going on in our country, because we at the FOP have been raising concerns since 2019. But nowhere in the governor's plan did he actually address what's driving our violent crime. And that is rogue prosecutors and activist judges who are letting out violent criminals over and over and over again. A recent study out of Chicago said that the people actually pulling the trigger, the gang members, the ones that are actually taking the shots, have been arrested an average of 12 times prior to that. So if maybe, just maybe, if we actually prosecuted violent criminals, we'd be able to get our crime rate down. This ain't rocket science.
You know, Jen Psaki even made an acknowledgement by accident when she said, we're funding the police with $300 billion more. Is their attempt to play jujitsu on that issue and pretend like they're the ones supporting the police? You buying that?
No, I'm not buying it. I mean, this is textbook gaslighting. The same day that she made that announcement, we had the Oakland City Council defund their police by $18 million when their homicide rate was up by 87%. And that was the Democrat-controlled city council. Make no bones about it. We know who's defunding the police in this country, and it's having dire consequences. Over the weekend, we had 554 people shot, 189 murdered. 30 children were shot in this country over the weekend. 30, including, we also had 4 police officers that were shot. And this is just a microcosm of what's going on. Last year, we had over 20,000 homicides in the United States, which we haven't seen since the mid-90s. This historic crime wave is the greatest crisis facing our country right now. But the good news is we can fix it. If we absolutely restore the rule of law, which means don't let the rioters and looters go and not even file charges on them. If we actually prosecute violent criminals, don't let them out over and over again, and embrace broken windows theories, no letting people walk out of the store with garbage bags full of cosmetics, which has caused Walgreens to close 17 stores, we can restore order in this country.
We can, but they won't, because they're too beholden to radical elements inside their party. You mentioned law enforcement officers shot, children shot, 3 just this morning in Chicago, out there doing their job with no one having their backs. It's crazy. Joe, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
You got it.